So I'm gonna assume everybody here knows what VRChat is. Let's talk about it. I have kinda silently been in the VRChat community for a number of years now. I didn't start uploading my own avatars until around the middle of last year, 2024. But I did have an account. I, uh, I started spending a lot of time on customizing worlds I had bought, making my own worlds, and then eventually, through a friend of mine who's a VTuber, Targo, I ended up joining a DJ group and DJing a few sets. Occasionally I'd get brazen and go into public lobbies, mostly for events like the Sanrio event that happened earlier this year, the Sanrio Festival, as well as the Skeb Festival. Now, if you grew up like me, you grew up in a house with a lot of high expectations and cultural expectations, a lot of which are kind of hypocritical, in hindsight especially. And you might have been socially awkward and not made a whole lot of friends, and if you did, they weren't good friends, really. Not like they weren't close friends, but they were just not good people in general. When I first became a VTuber, I saw a lot of VRChat content from Fillion and Cotton and others, and I was planning to venture into it because I thought it would be cool to make actual friends other than the small couple I have. So, although I stuck to private instances for the longest time, my original intention was to go in and make friends. And it's helped occupy a lot of my time as well, just exploring what pretty worlds there are while I'm at home. Because the market sucks right now. uh, so, I am grateful for your chat in that way. Believe it or not, it's actually not hard to fill a lot of your favorite world slots. I'm really glad they made it like 4 or 5 of them now, because the amount of favorite worlds was not enough originally. Like, the limited tabs in my worlds was kind of insane. I honestly have already filled up 1.5 of them out of the 150 worlds you can bookmark in each. I think it's actually 100. I don't remember exactly. But either way, I have a lot of them almost completely filled. And it's because a lot of people use VRChat the way it should be, for creativity and to express themselves and to possibly getting into designing games or 3D modeling, which is a really good use of the program and what assets you have in Unity and Blender. I honestly think, just on a worlds aspect, there's such a diverse option that honestly anyone can get into it. I mean, there's entire worlds that just revolve around space. I have one that I bought that's actually uploaded that is just, revolves around traveling in space and visiting different planets virtually, which is something most people won't be able to do in real life ever, so it's cool that somebody designed it. There's also a world I went to, which I can't remember the name of right now, where it's an aquarium ride and you go in a submarine and it's like a political commentary on people who spend way too much money to brag that they did something that other people can't do. If you know what news incident I'm talking about, I'm referencing Cool. But basically, you go into the sea to hunt down this thing that's supposed to be worth a lot of money, and your submarine ends up getting hunted by a sea creature, and you basically, at the end of it, sort of die. There's a lot of jump scares in it. It looks really pretty too. Like, it starts off you're just swimming through fish and chilling and stuff, and then boom. And it spooked the crap out of me. I'll be honest, even as a horror game player. But there's like so many good things that come out of it. I mean, of course, you have like the trolls, like Ugandan Knuckles and the inappropriate stuff. But you have a lot of good things that come out of it too, like that. And the fact that, especially now, as people are getting better at Unity and figuring out the SDK and Udon, being able to make worlds that make, social commentaries on some pretty serious stuff and capitalism, and all of that is pretty neat. However, you can't talk about VRChat without also talking about some of the, questionable things, like why it took so long to get ID verification when Persona, the program and company that VRChat partnered with, has been a thing for a long time and is pretty readily accessible for game developers. I I was kind of surprised it took so long. We finally got it. Now we can, close off instances to anybody who's not age verified, which a lot of people are really angry about, but I don't quite understand that because just do the thing. But we gotta talk about VRChat Plus. For as much as it costs, there's not really a lot of tangible benefits to it when you can use pins and just pin stuff. Now, that doesn't mean VRChat devs, if you're watching this, to make pins VRChat Plus only, that don't do that. But it's hard to justify spending $100 a year on a subscription for a lot of people because those drops are inconsistent as far as, items to use in game and stuff. They're very inconsistent about that. Sometimes there will be a new one every 2 to 3 months. Sometimes there's 6 to 8 months without one. And that makes it very hard for someone to be like, oh yeah, I get free items. But how often do you get those items? How often do you get those options? I know there's a discount for the model store now, the in-game model shop for VRChat Plus subscribers, especially with so many people are learning how to do their own models and things like that and upload them themselves, because some model artists are becoming unreasonable a bit. Some of them completely understandable, but some of them that charge $2,000 to $3,000 for a non-exclusive model is kind of bonkers. I'm all for artists getting commissioned and paid and stuff, but if it's not exclusive and there's not any commercial rights or anything, what's really the point of dropping a car down payment? So honestly, I think if VRChat wants VRC Plus to survive, really, they're gonna have to add more options on there. Now, the people who just genuinely want to support VRChat and are okay with just having custom emotes, obviously gonna subscribe. We want our emotes. But if you're wanting the casual users of VRChat to start using it, you're gonna have to add a little more value to it to justify that. Because, especially in this economy, $99 a year for an ongoing subscription and not a one-time payment, it's really hard to justify for a game. Now, I was very pleased to hear that the VRChat developers have kind of restructured their team a bit. Some of the more problematic members are, you know, not exactly in the places of power they used to be. I'm also very happy to hear about the changes that they're adding to moderation, as far as like more updates to allow instance creators and group admins to decide who can and cannot be there. I know it came in handy during the last Rogues event for the Christmas holiday party, as our leader, Grim, had to kaboot some people because they came in and did some really not great things. They were permabanned fairly quickly. It wasn't hard to find within VRChat anymore. You don't have to do it from the website anymore. You can just do it in the app. Boop, bye. If they continue down that road, I do hope they balance it and they don't become overly insane with it, as they say they're trying not to do. But at the same time, also, I would rather VRChat be a adults space, considering the majority of the user base is such. I would also prefer there be a, if they do keep minors on the platform, a minors only section that is completely closed off, because if there's going to be a section for adults only, there should also be the reverse. You know, some game worlds where only people who can't age verify are allowed to be. Now, I know that will mean heavier moderation will be needed, especially for those worlds, because, you know, some people will lie about age verification and stuff, or like refuse to do it so they can have access to those worlds. But I feel like if moderation is done well, it would help a lot. And so I hope we move towards that, kind of. As goofy as that sounds, I think that would be beneficial for all the kids who keep getting Quest headsets for Christmas. I know there's adult friends of mine who have Quest headsets too, but there's been a huge jump in like the iPad kids getting Quest headsets now that they're older. And I just, as somebody with a lot of younger siblings and cousins and nieces and nephews and godchildren, I would hope that they create a space that's just for them as well, just like they do for the adults within VRChat, if they are going to go that route of much stricter moderation. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed just from the B-roll that a lot of the worlds that I ended up using for this video are Japanese. I do spend quite a bit of time in Japanese worlds compared to the US ones sometimes, just because there's a different style of art and because they're a lot more chill. They're also really nice as far as like trying to help you learn. I know Darafog has talked about this too, as far as like people helping with languages and trading phrases. It's really fun to exchange goofy, funny phrases and stuff, and like swear words in other languages with people. I plan on hopefully including all of the links to the worlds that were used in this video, because they are all gorgeous and they are fantastic world creators and deserve your attention. I hope to put together more shorts about my favorite VRChat worlds. Maybe I'll do a long form content like this in the future for them. if anybody's interested. I know I keep exploring long form content in different ways. I know I've been working more on shorts and long form content than I have any streaming. And as discussed in the short I uploaded a while back, it's just because this seems to be more enjoyable right now and rewarding with all the changes that have been happening on Twitch. My Twitch isn't going anywhere. It's just dead right now. We will be streaming on January the 4th. This should be up before then. But for my friend's birthday. My friend Dustin is getting a year older. He's still the baby of the friend group, but yeah. But we'll be doing some games over on the Purple site for that, so tune in if you feel so pleased to do so. And yeah, I don't know how to sign off on this. This was just a chill ramble. So yeah, enjoy this B-roll while we head out.